Good morning, everyone. This is Hall of Famer Director Marlon Green. Everyone stay positive. Today what I want to talk about is the leadership agenda for African Americans on this May 18th, 2017. The first thing I want to talk about is the nonsense that Democrats are doing to our president with these witch hunt, phony FBI investigations. And I want to tell the African Americans in Congress they all need to step down, especially the ones in the Black Congressional Caucus. You are counterproductive. The UN has declared on more than one occasion that the United States should consider giving African American reparations. You know why the United States should give African Americans reparations? Because for 1,600 years, 400 years just in America, we have been beaten, enslaved, exploited, and discarded of. Those days are over. I want to tell you, all you African Americans, all you Africans with these high profile names, including these entertainers, go to Africa. Go back to Africa, set up these business networks because we need this immediately. The white folks in America are fighting the Asians and they're fighting the Arabs. They're going to go broke and they're going to turn their white women into whores like African Americans. Hey, you white folks, if you don't want your white women being like African Americans, you may as well help us because you spend so much money on BS. And I'm commanding all of you sports figures, all of you celebrities, all of you entertainers, reinvest in your community again. We have gotten things taken care of that you are not capable of, such as taking down the monuments in New Orleans, Louisiana concerning the Confederate statues. Now, these Confederate statues cause anxiety throughout the people, and the white folks don't understand that. And I want to say thanks to white folks that's helping me and that's helped me in the past. And if you don't want to help me in the future, that's fine. I'll just move along because what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to stand by and let you all date our girls and you treat the guys like crap. Those are over. African Americans, you need to get y'all shit together because all over the world, the white folks and these intelligence agencies are using us against our own careers, against our own policies, against our own heritage, against our own cultures. And they turn right back around and then they go back to our burial sites, our ancient ceremonial sites, and our ancient spaceports, and they're going around rebuilding these things and using them. And so nobody likes the shadow government. Nobody likes the deep state, but everybody is kissing their ass for their little change. And those little advantages that they have, those are not really advantages. Those are exploitations because they're keeping the knowledge and the technology away from the people who has gained it by right or who has developed it themselves. We Africans have pyramids all over Africa, all on the sea floor. We have been teleporting and traveling the solar system and the universe thousands of years before the mainstream Europeans. And if the Europeans think that we're just going to let them trample all over us, trample over us in spirituality, trample over us in the global community, trample all over us taking our resources, you're no better than anyone else. Any leader who underperforms should not be a leader. Everyone has their time. Everyone has their sunset. And right now it's time for the Black Congressional Caucus to get their heads out their asses and start vacating the premises or start passing these policies. We have policies that the UN has already stated that we should be paid reparations, but you don't see Jesse Jackson, You don't see T.D. Jakes. You don't see Al Sharpton. But you know they're in that Black Congressional Caucus floating around. The problem is they're not helping us. So if you don't believe me, look at this. Take a look at these documents I have. And I want to show you what exactly I'm talking about. And stay tuned. I'm going to show you these documents. Okay, here we have here that okay, here's an example of what I was talking about. The UN group says US should consider reparations, and I agree with them. And this article was written by Jesse Holland, the Associated Press, and it says this: the United States should consider reparations to African American descendants of slavery, establish a National Human Rights Commission, and publicly acknowledge that the transatlantic slave trade was a crime against humanity, a United Nations working group said on Friday. The UN group of experts on people of African American descent released its preliminary recommendations after more than a week of meetings with Black Americans and others from around the country, including Baltimore, Chicago, New York City, and the District of Columbia, including Mississippi, Jackson, and I'm kind of disappointed that Louisiana is not on this list because we've just removed Confederate statues, starting with Jefferson Davis on Jefferson Davis Highway. You could keep the street, but not the statues. After finishing their fact-finding mission, the work group was extremely concerned about the human rights situation of African Americans. Charles Morel Fanon Mondeniz, France, said in the report, the colonial history, the legacy of enslavement, racial subordination and segregation, racial terrorism, and racial inequality in the U.S. remains a serious challenge as there has been no real commitment to reparations and to the truth and reconciliation of people of African descent. No shit. And let's go over another one and see what we have here. Let's see if we can get another one. The U.S. owes black people reparations for history of racial terrorism, says UN panel. We just have around the Dallas-Fort Worth area that another youth has been killed by a cop, and they did not find them guilty either. So the African Americans need to get their shit together. We need to have our own police. We need to have our own neighborhood. We need to have our own financial system. And the black woman, you're really holding this behind. You are really holding us behind. You're not proactive. You only talk when your son is affected. And the women, they turn a blind eye to all of these injustices, including child support agencies. And let's see what it says here. The history of slavery in the United States justifies reparations for African Americans. No shit. They gave the Jews, they gave some Latinos, and they gave Japanese, and they gave Chinese. Why we not good enough? That's Black Congressional Congress's responsibility to convince these people, not us. We are doing everything we're supposed to do. They're sitting on their butts. Some of them been in Congress for 20 years and still haven't done anything. Talking about what they've done in the past, like Congressman Lewis. You're losing now. In particular, the legacy here of colonial history, enslavement, and racial subordination and segregation, racial terrorism, and racial inequality in the United States a serious challenge. And then skipping, and it's going down. Contemporary police killing and the trauma that they create are reminiscent of the past racial lynching terror. Michael Jordan never spoke up. Magic Johnson never spoke up. It's not people like Larry Bird to speak up, but it's also the responsibilities of these so-called leaders that's in these NBA, NFL, MLB capacities. They are using you against us, including LeBron James, Beyonce, Oprah Winfrey. These people are being used against their own culture, and many times they can't see it. So I have to bring all of this to their attention. And so let's go over this last document. A new report released by the UN nations concludes the United States owes reparations to African Americans for slavery and recent police-involved shooting deaths. The report was produced by the United Nations Working Group of Experts on African Descent and strongly condemned Americans' racist history. In particular, the legacy of colonial history, enslavement, racial subordination and segregation, racial terrorism, and racial inequality in the United States remains a serious challenge. It's saying the same shit over and over again. The group also made the stunning accusation that the recent police-involved shootings are similar to the brutal lynchings of the Ku Klux Klan and amount to a human rights crisis which they continuously turn a blind eye to. And people like these ministries, they don't know what universe they're in. Talking about helping Israel and your own African Americans here are starving. Man, get out of here with that shit. And we're going to start separating good pastors from bad pastors, because the bad pastors act like they can just attach themselves to the good pastors and get a ghetto pass. No, we need Reverend T.D. Jakes to support reparations. We need Joyce Myers to support reparations. We need Joel Osteen to support reparations. We need the Black Congressional Congress to support reparations. We need all of the African American athletes in all of the capacities that they have in sports to support reparations, because it directly affects you. And if you don't have what it takes, don't get mad at someone who's pushing the agenda that's conducive to the community, and you're going to find yourself left out. This is the hottest director of photography, Marlon Green. And oh yes, I'm already famous throughout the galaxy. And if you don't believe me, check out all the extraterrestrial activity that's going out through the solar system. They want us to contact them. And all extraterrestrials, you are welcome to contact us. No abductions, no spying, open terrain on even terms. You hear that? This goes for the global community of Earth, and this goes for the galactic community abroad. We welcome you to contact us. You can hack through radio communications, AM and FM. You can hack the cable systems. You can hack the satellite systems if they do not want to let us contact you, because it is our technology that they are keeping from us to contact the extraterrestrials, who many are trying to make our lives better and are trying to add us into the galactic community. And our leaders have breakaway civilizations all over the solar system, and they're going to our ancient burial sites, our ancient ceremonial sites, gathering up, rebuilding this technology, using it for themselves to teleport all across the universe. They've been doing this for at least 50, 60 years in this time, in this lifetime. That's more than enough time to let us know. You know, you get what you paid for. And we are not getting what we deserve, and we're not waiting on white folks to catch up with the rest of the global community. Those days are over.